mean? Well, you know, low testosterone levels that affect you in every aspect of life, not just in the bedroom. Low energy, lack of sleep, focus is not there, but it doesn't have to be this way. My friend, ceasefire or not, we're going to break it down right now on radio. Thanks for joining us. Apparently, there's been a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. However, reports are still being said that Iran is firing missiles into Tel Aviv. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Is this a taco moment? Have you heard of what taco is? Trump always chickens out. I don't think so. I think that this is legit. I think there's a 2-week ceasefire on the table. I think we're going to probably get some things done. Why is Iran firing? Maybe it's some delayed response. I don't know. It needs to be dealt with. We're going to break it down tonight on radio. We're glad you're hanging out with us. Drop your comments. Stay tuned. We're going to go live on radio, and then we'll come back to you at the break.
I can't hear you over the music.
The app! Do you like the app?
Dude, why are you yelling at me?
Grab the Odyssey app from your app store and stream KDAWN anytime, anywhere.
I'm going down the rabbit hole.
It's time to dive deeper.
It's happening again.
They want to keep us divided so we don't realize they're chipping away at our freedoms.
We really thought through the cause and effect of our choices.
Tonight, one man will hold back the tide of sinister forces that threaten this great nation.
This isn't about politics. It's about truth in a culture built on noise.
Can I get an amen? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, we can. Broadcasting live from Las Vegas. Independent, unapologetic, and unfiltered. Steve Sanchez.
Thank you, Greg Eringer. Steve Sanchez with lots to talk about. Breaking news. We reported this on the socials about an hour ago. President Trump has stated that we have, in fact, entered a ceasefire agreement for at least 2 weeks. And the White House is officially weighing an Iran in-person meeting. So we'll see what happens. So let's talk about this. Did they blink? Did Iran blink? Because if you recall yesterday, Donald Trump said he was going to end their civilization. They had until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, which is 5 p.m. here on the East Coast, or West Coast. And did they blink? I mean, that's the real question that is on everybody's mind. Now, there are reports that Iran is still firing missiles into Tel Aviv. Now, there could be, it could be a lie, but I guess I believe what my eyes see because there's live footage of missiles jumping into Israel. Where the hell are they coming from? They're not shooting them themselves. Okay, so I do believe Iran cannot be trusted. I believe the Iranian leadership are a bunch of demonic players with a demonic ideology. This is why they force their women into the 19th century prison known as the hijab. This is why they're trying to have Sharia law implemented in this country. There's infiltrations in this country. We've talked about it. I've talked about the Sean Ryan podcast. Sarah Adams, former CIA intelligence officer, being on there saying there's 400 or 500 up to 1,000. Domestic, well, I shouldn't say domestic, Islamic terrorists lost in, or, basically in this country, and we can't find them. You can believe what you want to believe. I think this is probably pretty much true. Okay, so let's get back to, what President Trump has said. So there's a ceasefire. It's a 2-week ceasefire. They have agreed to stop bombing the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump has agreed not to basically wipe them off the face of the earth. And I think they blinked, if you want to know the truth. And Pakistan's the one that kind of got involved and proposed it, kind of took the lead here. So, what do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts? Is this legit? Is this just Iran stalling for time? Some people think that, hey, look, Steve Sanchez, this is Iran stalling for time. They're regrouping. They're recalibrating. They're letting their sleeper cells in the United States of America know what they need to do next. All of that's possible. No matter what the president says, all of that's possible. He's not freaking Nostradamus, okay? He's not the prophet Samuel, okay? So he doesn't know. He's not hearing from God. God is not talking to President Trump and saying, Donald, here's what. No, he's not. He's not a prophet. He's a president, okay? That's a fact with a capital F. It's not the prophet Samuel hearing from God, giving warnings. Let's just be real here. So President Trump received this 10-point peace plan from Iran. Okay, interesting. I want to see what it is. I want to see. I want to help the president on this because I think he needs my help. You want to know the truth? Because I'm a take no prisoners kind of guy because I've already had it because we dealt with this crap for 47 years. Let's just be real. For 47 years, we've had this ongoing frustration and this continuation of the Iranian wackadoodles doing harm, being the largest state sponsor of terror. So I want to remind you of a couple of things. And I saved this specifically for you so you can see exactly, so I can remind you, so I could take you down memory lane. Because here's the reality. I'm going to give you a reality. Literally, Tucker Carlson is stating that Trump could very well be the Antichrist. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. Trump is not the Antichrist. Okay. I mean, that's a bizarre thing for him to say. What I can tell you is Iran, since 1979, has been involved in the killing of hundreds of American soldiers through embassy bombings and some other things that they were involved in, funding Hezbollah and Hamas in the October 7th massacre in Israel. And I mean, the list goes on and on. For 47 years, they've been part of this atrocity. They've been part of the efforts to spread the radical ideology through their global Islamic caliphate. And Iran comes back and says, well, we just can't trust the United States of America. They don't negotiate in good faith. Okay, that's what they're saying. That, we just we can't trust them. And prior to all of this, let me remind you what they were doing. They were threatening to expand Gulf strikes to deprive the United States of America and our allies of oil for years. Do you know what that would have been? Let me tell you this. If this is where it's gotten, maybe this is not where it started, but this is where it's at now. And you can put blame anywhere you want. But what I can tell you is this. If Iran continued to do that, you would see gas prices be $6, $7, $8 a gallon for the next handful of years. What would that do to your bank account? What would that do to you financially? I'm asking those listening right now on the stream, those watching on our social media streams, what would that do to you financially? So President Trump is pondering if he should meet Iran in person to negotiate this and to make sure this ceasefire does stay in place. Israel has decided to jump into the peace deal. They've agreed to stop bombing. But, Israel operates on their own individually as well. Let's just be real. They do too. So, Iran, look, and I don't blame them. If Iran still shot some missiles, which they did clearly, after the ceasefire deal was announced, and they fired them into Tel Aviv, wouldn't you expect Israel to reciprocate? You would. I would. Of course they should be reciprocating and firing back. So hopefully they'll be able to behave themselves. But when I hear, Iran basically say that they can't trust us, okay, that they can't trust us, that basically we don't negotiate in good faith because we bombed them last time during talks. Well, we bombed them last time during talks because they were still bombing Israel. They just don't want to take responsibility. So if you stop bombing, Israel will stop retaliating. and the U.S. would stop firing onto you. It's called a 2-week ceasefire for a reason. Let's just stick to it and get a deal done. Wouldn't you agree? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. In fact, I'm going to open up phone lines now. Those listening on the stream, on the Odyssey app, the iHeartMedia app, TuneIn app, those watching on the socials, you can call me now at 702-257-5396 and weigh in on the conversation. We're not live on radio tonight. We got Dodgers ball playing again, but yet we're playing ball here. And the kind of ball we're playing basically is more important than any sports activity you could ever have. You know, want me to tell you why? Because our future and our lives are dependent on this. That's why. There, said it. It's why. It's the truth. You know it and I know it. At least you get reliable here with Steve Sanchez. Just like my friends at Reliable Environmental Services, they'll clean your offices like they clean my studios here. They are exceptional. They serve small business, medium-sized business, large businesses all over Las Vegas, including some of the most prestigious resort properties on the Las Vegas Boulevard. So if you need commercial cleaning for your small office, large office, medical facility, give them a call at 888-545-7182. They will give you an online quote for free and ask them about the 1-week free service when you mention my name, Steve Sanchez. Again, 888-545-7182, or you can simply get an online quote for free at their website at reliableenvironmentalservices.com. All right, let's go off to break. We got bills to pay, as they say. We got bills to pay. No, I don't have to pay a pitcher a tremendous amount of money here, but I still have to pay our staff that keeps the show going for you, live on the streams, live on the socials. Give me a call, weigh in, 702-257-5396. I'm Steve Sanchez. We'll be right back.
Have you inherited a home and want to avoid the stress and hassle of selling? Call Wedgwood Homes first to discuss your options. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. Probate paperwork, multiple heirs, property taxes, repairs, and maybe even an existing mortgage. With Wedgwood Homes, there's no need to clean or clear out the house and no repairs or updates. We buy as is and provide a fast, reliable, all-cash offer. No commissions, no hassle. The Wedgwood Homes team can guide you through the process with experts in probate, trusts, and shared inheritance. Wedgwood Homes offer is firm with no strings and no last-minute price drops like other cash buyers. We can close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline. Avoid competing with new inventory and demanding buyers in the real estate market. Let Wedgwood Homes ease the process so you can help your family move forward. Call 702-996.
All right, the question is pretty much for you on the social media platforms as well that are watching this. Do you think Iran's lying? Do you think they will stick to the 2-week ceasefire plan? You know, it was announced about an hour ago, and then all of a sudden you got bombs, missiles going into Israel. And Iran tried to say, that's not us, that's a lie. Well, you can see them coming from Iran. It's not a lie, it's true. And they have the audacity to say that they can't trust the United States of America. And then I have people that are on here and you know, putting stuff. I think someone, her name's Jessica, she's a real nutburger, sharing the real nutburger stuff, you know, the type, just real nutty, freaking nuttier than a fruitcake, stating that it's Israel and Steve Sanchez, you're not a true Christian and you're not. And I'm like, shut your pie hole. No wonder you're single, for God's sakes. No wonder you're single. You don't understand anything. You're not smart enough. You have an IQ of a ladybug. I have 138 IQ. Give me a break. Okay? Trust me. Israel's not calling shots on anything. Oh, Israel has their own government, and I don't agree with everything that Israel stands for, just like I don't agree with everything the United States of America's government stands for. But to make these stupid statements and pulling information from the most obscure, stupid, I live in my mom's basement content is just dumb. Dumb with a capital D. Dumb with a capital D. So, to the smart people watching this, my question is very simple. Will the ceasefire stick? Will we get a deal? Can Iran be trusted? What are your thoughts? We'll talk about that and more when we come back to the show. So we got one more segment here live in studio with you. Drop your comments. Drop any questions. I'll answer those to the best of my ability. And of course, you can drop what city and state you're watching this from. It'd be kind of cool to know where you're at. And we'll be back here in just a couple minutes. Stand by.
We bring big ideas, bold action, knowing that together we can make a difference. We're building a humane world where wild animals stay wild and protected, where farmed animals no longer suffer, and no animals are used in experiments, where our companions are cared for throughout their lives. We are Humane World for Animals, driving global change for the end of animal cruelty. Help make change for animals. Visit humaneworld.org.
Do you have fatigue from seeing all the so-called social media experts have an answer to your questions? Well, my friend Guy Nora has answers. He's got a common sense first agenda that can help you if you're struggling in your finances, your personal relationships, or your health. Former 2022 gubernatorial candidate right here in the state of Nevada and a successful venture capitalist and philanthropist, not to mention radio and TV show contributor, he has answers. Visit him on his socials at The Real Guy Nora for new content dropped daily.
1015 FM KDON.
You're listening to Steve Sanchez. Phone lines are open. Call him now at 702-257-5396.
All right, welcome back. Steve Sanchez with you, 702-257-5396 is how you join us here in the Undisclosed Bunker Studios. Before we get to our calls, quick question, and I'm just going to lay it out there. Did Trump become the taco again? Is he the taco? They say he's the taco king. You know what taco is? Or can Iran be trusted? They agreed to the peace deal with us. Israel has stepped in and said, we'll stop the bombing as well. There's a 10-point plan, apparently, that Iran gave the United States of America. I don't really think Iran's in any position to be demanding, but the White House is weighing in on, well, meeting in person with some of the Iranian leadership. We'll see how that goes. Again, phone lines are open, 702-257-5396. Do you agree? Did they blink? I think they blinked because Donald Trump said, we'll end your civilization. It'll be over. So I think they thought, well, should we take a chance? Now, some people are saying they're just playing Trump. They're playing the United States of America because what they're doing over these 2 weeks is they're going to regroup. They're going to recalibrate. They're going to awaken sleeper cells in the United States of America. That's what I'm trying to find out. What are your thoughts on that? Let's go ahead and get down to business. First up this evening is Lewis. Lewis, welcome to the show.
Steve, how are you?
I'm good.
I called you yesterday, and I'm still on the side of this is a blunder. He was better off just going in and doing what he was going to do, because he himself has backed himself into a no-win position here. If this ceasefire is going to work, and here's where I'm going to probably lose you, is Israel's got to restrain itself. I don't trust Israel. The only way, and I think I speak for a lot of people here, it may not be you, but the only way that I'm going to be happy with any kind of truce coming out of this is $0 to Israel from this point forward. And the only thing I can tell you this about Trump, that he has made it very easy for me going forward. I'm going to look, if you're getting any kind of money from Israel, if you support Israel, you're not getting my vote.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this. You're talking about financial support, obviously. So if we cut off financial support to Israel, do we cut it off to every other country that we write checks to?
Ideally, yes.
Okay,
ideally,
so it's not
yes,
just Israel.
But Steve, history has proven and shown us, and you may disagree with me, and I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Israel is not a good actor. Israel is a bad player here, and they have been since their inception in 1948.
Why? Are you still there?
Everything that is coming to light. There is a reason why the rest of the world is turning its back on Israel. Do you not see what some of these people in Israel do to Christians? Come on, man. Israel is not a good player. Now, if you want to go down every single conspiracy theory, 9/11, the Bolshevik Revolution, we can, but I don't think that's the direction you want to take the show.
Well, I've heard all this. I've
I
debated people on all of this, and I've heard all of this a multitude of times for years. And I mean, so I've been on radio going on 16 years in June. So I've had discussions about this, you know, a lot. And so I do understand that there's been bad actors inside the Israeli government, but I think you can say there's been bad actors inside the United States of America's government as well. And we hurt our own people too. I mean, don't get me started with the COVID vaccines. So if we're going to literally start, saying XYZ here, we've got to be prepared to point those fingers to Italy and France and Germany and England and Australia and Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Syria. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, Trump is exposing and has exposed everything. The hatred towards him is so great, no one is actually seeing what's really going on.
Well, sure,
and
that's a problem. Sure, that's a problem. I agree with you.
I support the country. I still support the president. I'm not behind what has happened here on this issue. 100%.
But I mean, Lewis, let's break this down even a little deeper. Okay, about Israel. Okay, let's just go back to biblical times here. Okay, regarding the start, the creation of Israel as a people, as a nation, etc., going all the way back to Abraham. So let's talk about this. Isn't it true that, Israel has always been targeted by outside entities since their existence? And wouldn't you think that if, let's say you're Israeli, you live in Israel and your generations are Jewish heritage, so would you finally be at a point where for thousands of years you have been enslaved, you have been, spat on, you have been bombed, you have been ridiculed? Wouldn't you finally get to a point where you get hardened, Israeli government, let's just say as an example, and now you're going to take out your enemies that you feel are in fact your enemies? If that was happening here to America, Lewis, I think we would do the same thing. Now, I do understand some of the things you're saying about some Israelis and some Jewish people doing XYZ to Christians. I understand that is a small minority of very extremist thinking regarding how they feel about Jesus, regarding how they feel about, and I can't remember the terminology, Guy Nora's even spoken on it, where, Christians are looked at as, lower than. That is a small ideology, just like it's a small ideology of some of the radicals in Lebanon that, want this radical Islamic global caliphate as well. So it's across the board is what I'm trying to say. Lewis, I'd love to hear back from you tomorrow. We're up at break. You're a good debater, and you bring up some good points. I can't say that you don't bring up good points. You do. But I think sometimes we're cavalier in saying, I'm against Israel for this, and you're for Israel because of this, and Israel did this. And I understand some of that, but I think we've got to break down the accusations, the allegations, and the actual things that have been done and haven't been done to be able to get a better understanding of what we're dealing with. Lewis, I'd love to hear back from you again this week. You're a smart guy. I love talking to you. Phone lines are open. 702-257-5396 is how you join me. We'll be right back.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Tom Regani. A ceasefire has been reached tonight between the U.S., Iran, and Israel. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports.
Iran had been given an ultimatum by President Trump to open up the Strait of Hormuz by 8 o'clock or face the destruction of its power plants and bridges. It appears Iran has accepted President Trump's terms. The president's 2-week ceasefire contingent on Iran allowing ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, cool. Glad everybody's with us. We're going to go one more segment live in studio. And then we're going to bounce off and just stay on radio and on the streams. Look, we just had, a caller come in and obviously talk about his interpretation regarding Israel and the peace talks. And I get it. Look, I am not one of those guys that will tell you that people are innocent across the board. Look, the United States of America, we've done plenty to others and ourselves through past administrations and governments. We're not a perfect people. We're humans, for God's sakes. So, Israel's the same thing. I mean, you've had governments there that have had their own agendas. But when I say support Israel, I'm talking about the people, the country, what God said to do, biblically speaking. Governments are people. Governments are flawed. Our own is many a times. So we've got to be careful in the way we say and the way we do. It's just sometimes we're so cavalier saying Israel's everything, and they're not. They're not. They need to be held to account on the things that they do that are in error. And there's nowhere in the Bible that God says we can't hold people to account, Israel, ourselves, or anybody else. But we cannot, nor should we, be taking our talking points from, nut jobs that really don't have an understanding in world affairs or biblical affairs when it comes down to all of this. Here's how I see it. I think Trump has a legitimate chance to get a ceasefire permanent. Iran needs to have a regime change. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those guys that likes to go into countries and change things around. But for God's sakes, they had 60% enrichment. What the hell do you think that's for? I mean, they had an Iranian parliament person come out and say, yeah, we were getting ready to build a nuke. He said it. Go look for yourself. What do you want? I'm sorry. If this offends some people, so be it. I'm about protecting America first. Period. If you don't like that, who gives a shit? I'm going to be honest with you. That's how I feel. I'm about protecting America. I've got a wife, I got children, I got grandchildren, and many of you do too. And I'm talking about all of America, Republican, Democrat, Independent, black, white, brown, purple with freaking polka dots, everybody. We lost that somewhere along the way. We got to get that back. Just saying. Just sharing this for a friend. We're going to get back on radio here for a moment. Glad we're hanging out. Drop your comments. I'll answer those in the next break.
For a Dollar Loan Center in Nevada. We offer no collateral, signature loans up to $5,000, and the process normally takes less than an hour. We do this at all our locations, or our customers can complete the entire loan process at don'tbebroke.com to save even more time. And when their loan is approved, we do instant funding to the account of their choice or give them cash.
Up to $5,000 cash in minutes? I'm in.
It's free to apply, and new customers get the first week's interest on us. And we charge by the day so they can pay off quickly to save a lot of money or keep the money for up to a year.
Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
License by the Financial Institutions Division, subject to approval, limitations.
The reports are true. KDON and Desert Springs Pools and Spas are giving away another pool. The 65K pool giveaway is back. Enter now at KDWN.com for your chance to win. Hurry, contest ends May 31st, 2026. No purchase necessary. See website for details.
All right, welcome back. Steve Sanchez, 702-257-5396 is how you join us. Phone lines are open. We're talking about, obviously, Iran agreeing to a peace deal with America. Israel said, we're going to stop. This peace deal was about 90 minutes ago. That's when the breaking news came out. We talked about that here on the socials prior to the radio show starting. And what do you think Iran does? 20 minutes after the peace deal is announced. I have to be straight with you. What do you think Iran did? Yes, correct. They shot missiles into Israel. And then, of course, they tried to say, we didn't do it. That's a lie. That's propaganda. You can see the freaking missiles coming. I mean, what propaganda? I mean, for God's sakes, I've got a Middle East correspondent with Newsmax, Zach Anders, out there giving me all my feed, and basically he's saying, "Look, here's what's happening. It's there. What do you think? I'm blind? I'm not Stephen Wonder here. I'm seeing it. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish." So, what do you expect Israel to do? Sit there and say, "Oh, shucks, gee, shucks. You know, President Trump basically said we've agreed to a ceasefire deal for 2 weeks. And yeah, even though Iran shot some missiles into Tel Aviv, we're just going to sit back. It's okay. No problem." Hell no, they retaliated. You would too. If we were getting missiles shot here to Phoenix or Vegas or Frisco or New York, we would be firing back with retaliation. You know it and I know it. What do the hell expect